right, here we go. Yes! Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Music Guy Podcast, the podcast about a couple of working musicians in the Toronto, Ontario area. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Al Rowe. I'm a music guy. I make music. I sing. I play guitar. I make records. I write songs. And broadcasting to you from the heart of Liberty Village in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. My co-host, as he is every week, my previous roommate, coming at you from the dark depths of Markham, Ontario, my good friend, Michael Hebbs. How's it going, my friend?
I'm good. Holding down the fort, keeping the looters out, keeping our stash of toilet paper safe.
Yeah.
Safe from all those.
Key.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any? Do you have like a choice apocalypse weapon that's like leaning against your
My
door
charm.
frame or something?
I feel like I would just talk my way out of it. Actually, that's not true. I feel like the only thing I would have going for me is I'm just like so beta, you know,
Right.
that they would be like, I don't want to ruin this guy's
This
day.
guy could be useful to me. He will submit.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what a beta person would be useful for, but I'd just be so passive that nobody wants to hurt me.
Right. Well, we're fortunate to have yet another guest. One of the bonuses of everything being in lockdown is people have lots of time to indulge us and come on this show and impart sweet, sweet knowledge on us and the good folks that listen. And we're pleased to welcome this week, all the way from Burlington, Ontario, singer-songwriter, very, very talented, 20 years old, already has multiple singles out on Spotify. The latest is called Little Things. It came out on May 1st. We are pleased to welcome Abby J. Hall to the podcast. Welcome, Abby.
Wow, that was an awesome intro.
Clapping. We're clapping. I didn't know she was from Burlington. I'm going to keep clapping.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop for the whole episode.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. When I heard the new song was out, I listened to it and loved it. And then I was like, how have I not had Abby on the show yet? We have a bit of a working relationship as the Agenda's done some tracks, and I've played for Abby on some live concerts and stuff like that as well. And she's just such a massive talent, wonderful person, positive energy, great voice. And as you guys will hear when you check out her music, she's the real deal. So we're psyched that you're here, Abby. What's been happening for you lately on the old in quarantine?
Well, I feel like I've been doing a lot of baking, gluten-free and dairy-free things that my family laughs at. But you know what? It's kind of fun.
Are you one of them celiacs?
Yeah, I have like an intolerance to gluten and dairy.
That's good.
So.
That's good. You don't need it anyways, you know?
So,
get it out of there.
Ignorant question here, is sourdough gluten-free?
It isn't gluten-free, but it's supposed to be like a lot better for your digestion, for sure.
Oh.
Have you attempted it yet? Because it looks really hard to do.
Sourdough?
I haven't attempted it. I feel like I want to try it though, because sometimes I just like you crave a good sandwich, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't I know it?
Yeah, Al actually has a sandwich daily.
Every day.
That's a part of the ritual.
Yeah, it's a
Not every
ritual.
day?
Pretty much every day.
Yeah, what have
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah.
What have you guys been up to?
Well, my baking has consisted of Betty Crocker and instant pancakes. We have done some homemade cookies actually off of some recipes we found on the internet. They worked pretty well. Most recently, we put sour cream in cookie batter, which I'd never thought was a thing, but it's actually pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh?
So something to try for you.
Thinks of that.
Yeah, I don't know,
I
man.
know. Who comes up with every recipe? I'm always like, this is
Yeah.
so interesting.
Especially in
Or like-
baking. Like baking is such an exact science. How do they?
Yeah.
How do they
Yeah.
know? I don't know.
I don't like it.
The annoying thing
Trust
about looking up internet recipes is that you have to read like a 10-page story about the
Yes.
person's life and like how they
Yes,
discovered
I
the
know.
recipe and like how it took them through like a dark time or something. And it's like,
But then I found these cookies. And
Yeah. It's the
It's the
everything.
same with YouTube like tutorials and like YouTube guitar lessons too, and like gear reviews. It's like, I don't want to hear you play, dude. Just play the fucking thing, and I'll decide if it's good or not. You know, like get
Yeah.
to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they are giving you the recipe for free, so the least you could do is indulge them a bit, I guess.
Yeah.
I will not indulge.
Yeah.
And I guess if they're readers, if they're big fans of them, they'll read it. But
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. I
Oh,
personally,
Martha released a recipe, and it really helped her get through that divorce. I gotta read all about it.
the pages.
personally, I don't know. I'm just looking for the skip to the recipe button the whole time, but hey.
Yeah.
We also baked a cake for Cooper the dog. That was a
Doggy cake?
another thing. Yeah, it's his birthday today. He's
Oh, happy birthday,
he's 5
Cooper.
years old. He's having a snooze in the corner over there.
He's a good dog too.
Oh, he's a
Doesn't make
good-
too
he's a
much
good boy.
noise.
Yeah, he's
Loves
a good boy.
just attention.
Oh, what kind of dog is he?
He's a mix.
big one?
Hound. He's a big dog. Hound, sort of mutt kind of mix. Beautiful dog. Beautiful dog. In great shape. And yeah, he's a good boy. So he's getting a cake for his birthday. It's made of like mostly peanut butter and flour, but I had a little taste of it. It wasn't bad.
So you're assuming that he is not gluten intolerant now, which
Oh, we know he's not.
may back.
We know he's quite tolerant of pretty much any food. Yeah, he's got a lot of tolerance for food. So the new single from Abby J. Hall, "Little Things." How about we listen to a bit of it right now? Is that cool?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's
yeah.
do
Yeah.
it. All right, get off on the on a little bit of music here to start us off. Here we go.
Sure, let my words digest, right at extra measurements. Read up on your history, let me know where it leads. Yeah, popcorn in a thunderstorm, blankets keep our hearts warm. On your front porch swing, it's in the little things. Has it been 3 days only? Make me smile for a lifetime, hold me. Takes a while for a good thing to grow. We can date it, take it slow. I know we belong together. No, never since forever. Let my jacket at your party on purpose. If I see your face again, it was worth it. Oh, we belong together. No, never since forever. Never know what life will bring. Gotta hold tight to the little things. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. You gotta hold tight to the little things. House band in a restaurant. You say if they play.
Oh,
I always
yeah.
feel like it's so awkward just like listening to your song while
Yeah.
other people it's like
Yeah. Are you supposed to be like feeling it, or supposed to be like, yeah, this is the thing I did?
yeah.
It sounds great, man.
Yeah.
So hooky. Your vocal sounds amazing. The production is huge.
The
Um,
ukulele.
I'm
baby.
so glad you guys like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And it's
You
got,
got your money's worth.
a real great.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
always
no
the
kidding.
thing, right? Like you spend a bunch of money and it's like, fuck, better be
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
This is gonna be.
Yeah,
good.
no, the producer Andre Caden Black and Tal Weisman, the engineer, they were both like super cool to work with, and
Yeah.
I'm happy to have worked on it with them.
Yeah, it's a great combination of what's modern and what's happening right now, and like you could hear that chorus
Yes,
on a radio station.
for sure.
Almost any station you could think of. I mean, that would even fit on alternative potentially as well. You can just picture that on the radio,
Like
but
88.1?
also it's such a like great combination with just you and your personality and your sound. You didn't lose any of that character and personality, which is, if I may say, in my opinion, is what makes you so great. Is that you have this like, people hear your or at least for me, like I hear your music and it's like I want to. I want to talk to this person. I want to get to know this person. She seems really cool. She seems really sort of
Oh, thanks, Al.
quirky, like in a good way, like very honest.
Yeah, there's definitely quirk.
Hard on your sleeve, like fun to be around, fun to hang out with. There's a the song's got a positive message to it, so I think it's.
I never
think
listened
it's
to
amazing.
lyrics. I couldn't tell you a single word from that song.
That's okay.
It's really rough though. I can't like. It was a really happy song, but I have no idea what it was about because I wasn't listening to the lyrics. I was just like, "Ooh, it's fun," you know.
What are you listening
Cool.
to if not the lyrics?
I don't know what it is. Like
I know it's different for everyone, so it's cool to hear like what people like pick up first.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it is really cool. I fucking like, I used to teach ukulele in like public schools, which
Oh,
I hated.
awesome!
But
Oh,
ukulele is an awesome instrument when you hear it like all done up. So that's fucking dope.
cool. Oh, I'm so glad you guys like it. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a great point too, because uke is sort of one of your main instruments that you'll play at a live show, right, Abby? So
Which is so cool.
It is fun. Yeah.
it's a bit
I
of
always
like.
feel like.
Go
Oh, what
ahead.
were you saying?
Go ahead.
No, I always feel like songs written on ukulele are always just so much more fun. Like I find I can write them a lot faster just because they're so much fun compared to like a more serious song.
Like a
Mm.
Rhodes.
Yeah.
You write some songs on a Rhodes, and they're gonna be soft and velvety.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true, actually. The instrument, it's hard to write a sad song on a uke, isn't it?
Yeah,
That would
it's
be a good goal.
Yeah.
that would be that actually would be a fun thing to try.
That's almost part of your brand, if you will, like, or your image or your sound. It's a core part of you as an artist. The ukulele is. I mean, so to start the song with that, it's like, all right, this is Abby, 100% through and through. Like, this is the artist we know, and then it explodes into this huge sort of pop chorus that's totally got
Yes.
like a, to me, it's like a Taylor Swift, maybe a couple of records ago kind of sound for me. And it's just like, yeah. So the song's just got so many great components to it and layers, and it's really, really
Well,
great job. Well done by you, and of course by the producers as well. How did you get to work with those guys, and how did you
just
meet
gonna
them?
ask
How
that,
did that all start?
Yeah, so I think actually around last year, I was really looking for just like to meet like different producers and stuff like that. And so I went to Canadian Music Week, and I didn't actually go to the producers panel, but I met one of the producers afterwards, and I had heard about him. This is Andre, and we just kind of connected, and we kind of like vibed off each other well. Then he's like, let's set up a meeting next week. And then, yeah, I just kind of like, we just hit it off and then started recording.
Nice. So
I don't know if that was a good description.
Yeah,
but-
no, I mean, makes sense. Like, did you have the
Yeah.
song written already, and did you have an idea in mind of like,
Right.
here's the direction I want to take this, here's the producer I'm looking for, or did it just sort of, you met them, you're like, these guys are pretty cool, and they sort of took a listen through your material and said, we want to do this one? Like, how was the song chosen?
Yeah, so originally I kind of I probably had like around like 20 songs with
Good
and we
number,
just
yeah.
kind of like Andre and Tal and I just kind of went through them, and we kind of just had to like narrow it down to 4. So we've recorded 4 songs with them.
Oh, wow. Okay,
And
great.
yeah, so this is the first one released.
Is this the best one, or is there more to come?
I don't know. I like all of them,
Yeah.
but I think this is one of like, it's probably the funnest one out of all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got some sad ukulele songs coming up after this.
I'll have to try that. I'll just try
This
that. I
ukulele
haven't-
song is called "I Hate Myself" and everything is wrong.
Yeah, no, it was cool working with them, and they're both like awesome. Like it was cool because we just kind of connected in terms of like what we wanted to sound like and the vibe for it. So it was a fun process.
So when
I
you're,
wonder. Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So in terms of finding that direction, was it like you sent them, I don't know, a handful of songs that sort of sounded like what you were thinking of, or had you heard their previous work and thought, like, these guys are gonna make the sound that I like?
I heard their previous work before, and so I knew that they would be able to kind of capture the sound I was looking for.
Yeah.
And then with the song, this one actually, like, we kind of were meeting like every other like 2 weeks to go over the songs and make demos. And then for this one, Andre said, let's just, like, when you come back next time, let's just do a new one. Like, not one that you've brought to the table, like older songs, but like write a new song.
Okay.
And so that's kind of this one was kind of, it wasn't an old song that I brought to them. It was just kind of like and that's why I said it was easier to do it faster, because it was on the ukulele and a little more.
So Andre was also a co-writer on this tune. You guys wrote it together?
Well, I finished the song, and then together we'd go through it and kind of like tweak.
I see. Pre-production stuff. One thing that I thought that was interesting, and like, it's cool that you had a bunch of songs to start with, you know, and then it was like, oh, we'll choose the best ones. Because I mean, I don't know, I've never brought a song to radio, so I'm talking about out my ass here. But I would imagine, like, if you had, you know, no songs or only one or two songs, and you're like, let's do these. It's like, well, cool, but like that, those songs might not suit the producer, or they might not be good songs. So if you have 20, the producer can choose the best one for what they're gonna, you know, that speaks to them, you know, which makes sense.
Yeah, and it was cool working with them, because they're on as Tal and Andre are as like co-writers in it, and I think it was a fun process to have someone to like go through the music with and be like, okay, let's, you know, like, I don't know, it was a cool.
It would probably ease your worry too. It's like you have like two other people, and you can be like, is this thing, like, is that a good like way of phrasing that, or like, I don't know how I feel about this, and they're like, this is fine, you know, or like, let's tweak
even
that.
like a phrase and stuff. Yeah.
That's really cool. That would be real fun.
Yeah.
And Al, I love your new song. Sounds awesome too. Life to Live.
Oh, thanks
Oh
so
yeah,
much.
that's the one. Learning to Live is a Dream Theater song. Life to Live. That
It's
was
so
actually
good.
my favorite one, because I played a show with him. That was my favorite one as well too. It's very
man.
sad.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, it's fun.
Checks
Yeah,
in the-
your release
checks in the
party
mail
was
there.
awesome.
What did you do on your release party? Tell me about it.
Abby opened the show. How could I forget that?
Oh,
How
yes.
could I forget
Oh,
to mention
yeah.
that?
I missed that. I apologize.
Yeah, my,
I was at the release party.
my EP
I thought you did
release.
some like live stream thing or something. You know.
No, they had the release of the actual EP, the Life to Live EP, last
Yeah.
August. It would have been. Yeah, Abby
Yeah.
opened the show, solo acoustic. You know, crushed it as she
Nice.
does. I was like, what have I
As
done?
per
I had
usual.
Abby, and then I had Tom Hanley and
Yeah,
China
they're
Lewis.
amazing.
And then
You
I
had
was
one of the
like,
guys from what was that band? His
Nick Boyd
producer.
from Colorado. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
did an
It's a
acoustic
tough
set.
act to follow.
Yeah, and I was like, what have I done? Like, how am I gonna follow these guys?
Are you
You
kidding?
got-
You guys were amazing.
Abby into
I loved your
ton.
songs.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
it was fun. I was so glad that we could get you to do that. I think everybody absolutely loved your set and the whole night. So yeah, right on.
I just can't wait until there are concerts
fun.
again. You know,
yeah.
like I
Yeah.
would, even if I didn't like the person, I would go to a fucking concert right now, just
Just
because.
to go.
Yeah.
To go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just getting back to that point you made, Mike, about having 20 songs and then a producer being able to sort of make a decision, and in both artist producer being able to make a decision that's going to suit the project the best because they've got all these options to work with, right? One of the things that astounds me all the time about you, Abby, is like the quantity of songs you're able to write.
Yes.
Like the record that I put out last August, which I'm still slowly releasing singles from, has 7 tunes on it. We had maybe 10 to start with, to like whittle down from 10, which is no, barely any, you know? And it took me years to write that many songs. Like, how many songs have you written in the last 3 years, do you think?
I don't know. I don't really keep. I feel like I start a lot of songs, so
Sure.
I for sure have a lot more started. And I don't know if it was exactly 20 that I brought, so don't quote me.
Yeah, sure, sure.
But
She's a liar.
wrong, false. Yeah. I don't actually know. I don't keep really. I mean, I probably should. That's something I want to get better at, is being more organized on my laptop and get like a hard drive and have, because I haven't been very organized with it.
Okay, but like, what do you-
computer organization is prime. Very important.
Yes.
What do you think, though? Like,
Yeah.
more than 100 or less than 100 over the last 3
In the
years?
last 3 years, I think probably less than 100.
More than 75?
I think
She's modest too.
Yeah.
I think fully finished songs I think last 3 years is less than 100.
Yeah. More than 50?
Started probably more.
Started probably more than 100.
You're trying to get numbers.
I need the stats. I gotta get the
Specifics.
stats.
You are a stats guy.
Oh, yeah.
You're the kind of guy that plays NHL.
Oh, yeah.
And
Why
just fucking
sneakers?
sims
What's
the
that?
games and just, reads the stats and plays the game that way. And I respect you for it. That's why you're so successful.
I'm just
I
thinking.
don't know. Last 3 years. That's a good question.
It's a long time.
I mean,
It's
we
a while.
played.
It's a fifth of
can't
your
actually
life
tell
at
you.
this point.
I'm just trying to give people perspective because, like, we played a show with Abby, Burlington Sound and Music. I think it was an hour-long set, maybe a 90-minute set.
I think it was 45.
Was it a 45? And
Yeah.
like, there were a bunch of songs you didn't do that I had played with you before, and we
Right.
still had to cut a handful of originals from your set. Like, you had so many tunes that we couldn't fit them all in. So I'm just trying to give people a perspective here. Like, I think the quantity of songs that you're able to create and like the quality of those songs is really, really impressive. Do you have like a writing process? You're saying you want to become more organized. Like, do you make it a goal for yourself to say, like, sit down, write a song every day, or work on a song every day, or once a week, or what? Do you have any sort of goals like that to complete the work that you're able to complete?
Yeah. I think for me, I think it's because also before I really even started thinking about being like an artist, when I was 11, I started songwriting. And so songwriting has been it was so fun. I feel like I even probably wrote.
Uh-oh. We're frozen. Both guys are frozen. Am I still frozen? Oh dear. Let's find out. Well, we will get back up and running here, folks, as soon as we can. I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh, there's Al. There he is.
Here we go.
Did we lose?
Yeah, we lost everybody for a second there.
Oh
It's okay.
no!
We'll.
I had a little monologue.
Did you? I'm sure we all did. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had a monologue. I'm like, oh, they've lost me. Oh no! So when I edit the episode, I'm gonna put on lots of reverb, like I'm in a void. It's gonna be great.
Sounds good.
That's cool that you
we're
write so
back.
many songs.
So yeah, so we were just talking.
Yeah,
about,
where did it cut out?
We were just talking about. So do you have a process whereby you try to write a song a day or a song a week, or just make sure you're
Right.
sitting down working on it every day. What do you have a process like that, or does it just come organically to you?
There was a point where I kind of wanted to start putting a process on it to be like, yeah, more organized and more like I'm going to push myself. And I've heard people saying like, oh, by the end of the summer, I want to have written 100 songs or whatever. And I think that's great. I think like your personal goals are cool and you should stick with them. But for me, I find when I force myself to write, I can't get into that place. So it's more, I have been kind of just writing when I'm feeling a strong emotion or I am inspired by something, but there is definitely like if I'm like, okay, I need to like finish this song, and then I'll be like, okay, today I'm going to work on that. But I don't have like I'm going to write a song a day because I don't want that pressure. I like it. I feel like the songs are better for me when it's more organic, I feel like, and not like on a timeline.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was hoping you would say that, because then I wouldn't feel as bad, because there's people out there that's like, I work super hard, and not that you don't work hard, but those people are just like, like I do a song a day and you have to be regimented and you have to have plans and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like a good chunk of those people are partly bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like the people that are like, yeah, no, I work 14 hours a day, and I'm like, I know there are people that do that, but are you one of those people that says they work 14 hours a day, or are you a person who works 14 hours a day?
Yeah, and I mean, like, if it works for you, like, great. Right? And but I feel like for every artist, you do have to find that, like, because like, when you even, like, make a list of things to do, and if you haven't gotten everything done, you can, like, beat up on yourself, and I feel like you can't be creative out of a place like that either, so.
That's a great point. Yeah, if you're down on yourself, it's going to be way harder to write.
Unless you want to write a sad ukulele song, then it's perfect.
Yeah, called Down on Myself.
There you go. That's exactly it.
Nice.
I get 50% of the songwriting share on that, Abby.
Sounds good.
Do you co-write very often, or do you find that you do your best work solo?
I haven't done a ton of co-writing. I've done it before. I have like some friends that I've done co-writing with, but it's definitely something I feel like over this next year I'd like to do more of. But mostly I am, doing it solo.
Yeah. Well, we all kind of have to at this point too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I see people Zoom co-writing though, which is
I did
really
one of
cool.
those. That's
great.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure that because you write so many songs, you should hook up with some country artists around here. Zoom with them, Oh, right. That'd be dope.
Yeah. Have you been, also, if you've got a bunch of songs that you're yourself not going to record, have you thought about pitching to even just different artists that are kind of on the up and coming around the Ontario area? Or have you thought about doing any of that kind of stuff, licensing?
I'd love to get more into TV and film. That's also a goal for this next year. I'd really like to make connections with like supervisors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to do, but I'd love to try and.
So your whole idea is you'll try to meet or get in touch with people who supervise like shows and stuff like that.
Or music supervisors for film and television.
Yeah. That's
cool. Yeah.
I can't remember. I remember I had some decent lists for that because I was trying to do the music library thing, which is a similar thing. It's instead of being an artist, you kind of almost write like stock music.
Right.
And I can't remember. Yeah, I'll maybe look some of that up because there were lists of conventions that you can go to, and like numbers you can get in touch with. Yeah, no, that's really neat.
That's awesome.
Get a song in a TV show or a film. That'd be great.
Yeah, it would be super cool. I've heard it is pretty competitive, but I mean, you gotta try, right?
Of course.
Why not?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like also too. I mean, like it'd be good to get validation, right? Like I feel like with artists, it's like once again haven't released anything, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But I feel like getting validation, like, oh, this is good. Like people want to listen to this. It gets you to like the next step, so you keep
Right.
going. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you do a stock footage, Mike? Like, did you end up?
I
Or-
did end up making an album, and I literally like I never end like I sent it to a few libraries, and then I didn't hear anything back, so I sent it to a few more. I think I was just trying too difficult of libraries, you know, like because there are music libraries you can submit to them yourself as well too, and for original artists that's like actually a thing. For stock, it can be a little bit more difficult because there's so much of it. It's like stock photography.
Right.
There's so much of
Right.
it, so it's like,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a cool industry. It's very
Cool.
neat.
So jumping back to the new single for a second. So you had the song, you guys wrote it. How did the recording process work for that song? Where do you go from we've got a song written to how do you get from there to it's on Spotify and people are listening to it and it's rocking?
Yeah. So after we kind of we all really liked that song, we recorded it in Tal's basement. He kind of has like a basement studio. And do you mean that process or like more like how to get it online process?
No, yeah, but what you're talking about. So you went over to Tal's place, and what did it start with? Did it start with that ukulele loop? Did it start with a demo that you recorded of just you singing and one instrument or two? Or did they start with a beat or a chord progression? Or how did that all sort of come together?
Right. So I had brought the song to them on the ukulele. So, and then in the demo, just kind of did a little like ukulele, like riff with them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And so Tal had put kind of like a beat together with that. And so I could just like listen to that and follow along with the song. And then he had like the lyrics on a big TV and also a surf competition going on it. So we got like some beach vibes going.
There
Nice.
you go.
And then then after he just took the song and added more, like mastered and mixed it.
Yeah, and added sort of more layers to it and loops and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. And that was all done in the box, as they say. That were there any studio musicians that came in to play on it, or was everything sort of
No,
programmed?
we did these 4 songs were all in the box. So that was also
Wow.
that was a very interesting
Experience, yeah.
experience. Yeah.
It's a powerful thing.
So how
That
how
box.
complete would you say the song was when you were singing the final vocal? Did you feel like you were singing along to the finished track, or did you feel like I'm just singing along to the bare bones
That's
of it, and then you heard it
That's
later
a
and you were
great
like,
question.
wow.
I feel like I don't even really remember. It was like he put down like the general like drum kind of sound, but like the bass and all that wasn't
I see.
there as much.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the ukulele was there, so
There
yeah,
you go. That's all you need.
yeah. Nice. Right on. Well,
Wow,
I mean,
that's
yeah,
really cool. I've never thought of that.
It turned out great. And yeah, I mean, you guys should be really, really proud of it. And yeah, great job on the track.
Thanks, Al.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a
everybody go
pretty
check
good
it out.
find for just going to Canadian Music Week and being like, "Hey, you're cool," you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's make
That's
a
true.
song.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I
I
think
had
that's
heard,
super important though.
yeah, we kind of had like we knew kind of mutual people too,
Yes.
so I'd heard about him before, but yeah, it was cool to definitely have. I mean, Canadian Music Week is really awesome. It's too
Never
bad
been, I
it's
don't
not
think.
happening now, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true that.
yeah.
True that. I don't
So-
think we can zoom in all the people from Canadian Music Week.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that'd be a bit
Good
of
job.
a chaotic experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more than 4 and Zoom just gets real tough.
Yeah, you need to set rules
So
for who's
funny.
allowed to
Oh my
talk.
gosh.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Well, I think the etiquette is to mute yourself. That's what you're supposed to do in the
Really?
larger Zoom calls. You're supposed to mute your own microphone when you don't have anything to add to the conversation, so that people don't hear those little like weird
Yes.
random noises are coming through
Yeah,
the microphone.
true.
Yeah.
So
has
funny.
has this whole quarantine changed a ton for you, Abby, or is it like sort of business as usual? You just can't have fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's like everyone, it's weird how you can't go out and see people, and it's changed like a little bit with work and like video editing and stuff like that. So I'm doing a lot less of that. And music, obviously, there's not like gigs. I can't do anything like that in the summer, like for most musicians. But I feel like at the same time, because I was homeschooled and I've never been to school, I feel like I'm used to kind of being in a rhythm at home.
Yes.
Which I'm happy about. But I also feel like it has, like, I have been less productive songwriting, I feel like, too, right now than
That's the thing,
before.
is it's like, now's the time to be productive and get into put your nose to the grindstone and write a bunch of songs and be creative, but your creativity kind of feeds off of life happening. And everybody's kind of on pause right now, so it's like, what am I gonna write about? I don't have feelings. My only feeling is like, what is time? What day is
what
it?
is life?
Yeah.
I can't believe I ate all those nachos and stayed up until 6 a.m.
So elaborate a little bit on what you do for work. So you've got it sounds like you've got a flexible job that sort of allows you to pursue music as your primary focus, would you say?
Yeah, so I work for like a video marketing company, See My Clients. It's my dad's company. And I've actually really enjoyed it, learning how to edit videos, because I can also then be editing videos for myself and music.
Yes.
And it's kind of like, I don't know, do you guys video edit?
I guess a little bit, but not really.
But you do like mixing like songs and stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I use Windows Movie Maker. That's as
really?
That's as good as I am at editing.
Just get Resolve, man. It's free. But that's really cool that do you do like, so you're editing the videos and like, what do you do? Like, do you do color correction, or is it like sort of just putting the clips together and cool transitions and all that nonsense, or?
Yeah, I think it depends definitely on the job. Like if it's a more business corporate, then it's a lot of just like cutting and not too much color correction. But when it's more of like an advertisement, those are my favorite, because you can just do like fun B-roll and like it all syncs up to the music. I've done a little bit of color correction, but not a lot. I'm not the best in that area.
That's cool though. I mean, it's funny, all the side skills that help music, you know? Like all of like our stupid little podcast that we're doing right now, like all these little skills, they add up to something, right? Like, which is neat, because it is funny when you see someone who is just a musician and that's all they do. And it's like, I feel like if you're an artist nowadays, you gotta have everything. You gotta be able to take like decent photos of yourself and you know, like maybe even mock up like little posters or like Instagram posts and stuff like that.
Right.
And you gotta be handy.
Otherwise, you're spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
So did you edit the music video for Little Things?
No, so I had Red Tip Productions. They took care of that, which I was super happy for, and they did an awesome job. So
video looks great.
But like also, you would be more informed because you know video editing. Like, you know, like maybe it didn't happen in this situation, but I'm sure in the future, as videos come up, you'll have like a better sense of like, oh, I'm looking for that. You know, like
it definitely it is fun, because they had like, we did a little like scout beforehand, and so I knew we had that footage, and so I was like, oh, I'd love to put like the before and after together.
Yes.
And so it was fun to definitely like talk with them about like the way they video edit and stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, I think they're way better than me at video editing. So
hey,
I was good to just hand that over.
Well, it's nice to hand off projects too that are more close to you, because you know then you don't dwell on them, you don't second guess as much and stuff like that.
Right.
But I mean, it is great to have that background knowledge, and also, I mean, there's a ton of demand within the music community. People are always
Yes.
wanting video content now more than ever with not being able to play shows live. So you never
Right.
know. You might end up, as you get more experienced, you might end up sort of having your own little side hustle of being able to edit videos for folks and make videos for other artists and stuff like that. It could be a great, extra income stream and flexible way to sort of support yourself
Right.
while you're also
I think you
focused
got to
on
have
music.
something like that, right?
Mhm,
Just
yeah.
like, because being an artist costs money, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
having a way of bringing in some money. I know side guys that do that, like Roadhouse Productions. I think they make more money doing videos than they do doing side guy work, but it's like the two feed each other, you know?
Right.
is really
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something beautiful about like film and music, like the
Yes,
pairing. It's so I love it.
it is very
I'm
neat.
sure you guys love it too.
I do. I like
Yeah.
kind of tried to get into scoring films and stuff like that, but
Oh, cool.
it was a weird period where I couldn't really play. I was having panic attacks and I didn't know what they were. So like I just got into film score,
Oh.
but then I stopped having panic attacks. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go back
Okay.
to the thing I know. But film score is
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah, music and film have a interesting relationship. It's weird to watch a movie without music.
Yeah.
They exist.
Do they?
Yeah, like No Country for Old Men has no music.
Oh really? I didn't
Wow.
realize that.
And it's
Huh.
really strange to watch something and then you realize you're like, oh, I haven't
Something
heard a
feels off,
single
yeah.
thing.
And that's something
But it's
they,
cool.
Wow.
they chose to do that, I guess, for
Yes.
some kind of reason. Interesting.
Not for budgetary reasons.
Yeah, no, surely not. Yeah. Huh. Oh, maybe I'll have to check out that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been playing shows now for a handful of years. Obviously writing songs, making records, all that good stuff. How did you get started in music? What was the thing that made you say like I want to be a musician? And then from there, how did that path lead you to where you are now?
Well, I think like growing up, we always had music going on like in our house, and our friends will even say like, "Why are you guys always singing?" Like we always have one of us just like singing around the house. So we kind of would like make up little like I'm gonna say just like these like little whatever songs, and then when I saw Taylor Swift's music video "Love Story"
Mm-hmm.
for the first time, I was just entranced, I feel like, by her, and I was like, I want to write a song like that.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I just kind of, like they sucked in the beginning years, but it was just like something fun for me to be doing and trying. And I would write out like a Taylor Swift song in my journal and try to copy like line by line, just so I would know like how many lines are in a verse or in a chorus.
I see.
And then kind of develop my own thing eventually. But yeah, that's kind of how it started, or the passion kind of started.
What about ukulele, piano, guitar? Did you just teach yourself all those instruments, or did you take lessons?
So my dad taught me guitar when I was 13, and that was very helpful to put some like chords down with the songs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I did do guitar lessons, I'd say like a bit in high school and last year for a bit. So it's kind of been like really sporadic with guitar.
Yeah.
And keyboard, I had a music teacher in high school as well who did piano, and she would do songwriting with me as well. And ukulele, yeah, I picked that one up. I feel like if you know guitar, ukulele is a lot easier.
Oh,
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Nice.
It's similar enough, but it sounds like a lot different to me. You know? So it's cool to be able to pick up to pick up an instrument that it's like, oh, this plays the same, but it's like, oh, it's a different sound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah, you do still have to have a good ear for music, because obviously all the hand shapes are different and all that kind of stuff. But
I mean, if you look up some videos online of ukulele players where they play like chord melodies, so they're playing the chords and the melody on top, it's very pretty instrument.
Wow.
I can't even scratch the surface of that.
Yeah, that is cool. I got one of my ukuleles, or the first time I got a ukulele was actually in Hawaii, and the guy who owned the store, he did one of those you just like playing. And I couldn't
Yes.
believe it. I was like,
Yes,
I didn't even know you could do that on a ukulele. It was
it's very pretty.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
it's played well, it's a beautiful instrument. Unfortunately, guys like me are just sort of hacking away at it.
Yeah.
but
I'm
I
sure
don't know
it's
what the
a beautiful
technique
owl.
is. Yeah, I'm sure it's
the
just
hand,
fine.
the right hand, there's some crazy stuff going on with like flicking the
Yeah.
fingers and like it's a
Yeah, I
whole
do not know
thing.
how to do that.
It's a
I
whole
would like
thing,
to see
man.
a video of like how to take guitar technique and what's different about like ukulele technique.
Hmm.
Just because they
Yeah,
do
that's
something
that'd be-
weird.
Mhm.
Like it looks like they strum with like the top of their finger.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Like they like go like this
Yep.
instead of like holding a pick or instead of using their thumb. It's weird.
Mhm.
And it's weird too, because like it's not the, I don't know if this makes sense, but like the lowest note, you know, like the E on the
Yes.
guitar is like
Yes.
it makes like a nice, and then ukulele, I feel like it's the second one.
It's
That's
my dog has fleas.
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the-
the first one's really
Yeah,
high.
the first string is higher. Yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah. But anyway, great instrument. I guess I prefer to teach guitar instead. Though,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if I ever can direct a student towards guitar, I usually find that I'm
I
I'm
actually
happier to be teaching
didn't get a job teaching at a certain store that Al knows about because they wanted a ukulele teacher who went to college for ukulele. That was what they told me.
it. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if that exists.
Not in this province, I don't think.
No.
You know,
No.
maybe in Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So where was your first ever show? Where was your first ever gig? You started writing songs. You taught yourself a few instruments. You're a great singer. You got some songs. Where did you play for the first time? Perform in front of people.
The first time I was trying to think, I said I did piano in high school. I feel like it was even also a bit before. This teacher that I had, Rebecca Cummings, she was amazing. She was also a singer songwriter, and
Mhm.
she did for her kind of students. It was like a recital type thing,
Yes.
and so those were like a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And that was the first time that I kind of like performed an original song.
Nice.
We're at those, yeah. And then kind of like my own gig. I'm trying to remember. I guess like coffee, like I would do like little like coffee houses or anything like that. That's kind of how I started
Mm.
playing, or
Yeah.
open mics type thing. Yeah.
Open mics are cool. I wish I would go to more of those. Like, I feel like as a musician, like, we're pretty far out. Not you anymore, Al, but we're pretty far out from where they are. But I feel like that's like a pretty good place to get a start as an artist, get a start as a hired guy, find clients as a producer. It's just
Yeah, I mean the nice
it's
thing
a
about
no-brainer.
open mics is that they're going on everywhere. So wherever you
Yes.
live, like even in Markham, there's a couple local ones. So
I did not know.
I think the Duchess does one in Markham.
The Duchess.
Yeah. So if you want to, it is a great way to get started, and yeah, you don't have to travel downtown. You don't have to travel too far, and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So it is a great way to get started. And then Abby, you were involved in the Magna Hoedown competition. Just the 1 year, or how many years? Did you do more than 1 year?
Yeah, no, I just did 2018.
Right. And that's how I came to meet you, and me and the Agenda guys, 'cause we do the house band work.
Yeah,
for Magna
amazing
Hoedown. Oh, so you-
crazy.
Check
I'll be
was
the
check
judge
was
of
already
that.
in the mail, but
That was a good one.
yeah. No, yeah. So we got to work with Abby for the first time at the Magna showcase, and so the way that competition works is there's a group of 10 finalists that gets narrowed down to over the course of maybe 2 or 3 rounds of competition, where the artists are playing solo, so they might be just playing with a guitar or a piano in themselves, or singing along to a backing track. And they cut that down to 10, and then rehearsals begin with the 10 finalists and the live band that they actually get to play with, which is me and the boys. And that's when we really have an opportunity to meet the artists and get a feel for what their personality's like. Obviously, find out how good they all sound, and Abby obviously sounded great. And we get to develop that relationship with artists and do the best we can to give them the best chance to win, because at the end of the day, it's not up to us, it's up to judges that we don't even know. So that's the whole process, and I just want to point that out because I think it's one of the better contests out there, if I may say.
I agree.
Even though I am biased because I do work
I
heavily
am
with
not
it, but
biased.
yeah, well, you've done a little bit of work.
I did the Magna Hoedown,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah,
me and Abby were talking about this before. You might have been off doing your thing, whatever it was, but like there are certain competitions. There's a particular one, and I'm not going to name names, where you play multiple rounds. You have to bring your own band, and they charge cover for that event. They don't pay anyone anything, but they charge cover for the event. Every time you go there, it's a full house. They're serving beer and food, which the people have to pay for as well too. Except for they don't pay any of the bands, and the person who wins gets to play like a show for free for that. Whereas with the Magna Hoedown, it's like, yeah, you do have to do rounds to qualify, but you don't have to bring a band, right?
No.
And then when you win the final competition, you get to play like a really good show at like really high quality production value. You get to play with a really good band. You get to rehearse with that really good band, and you don't have to pay for that band. You know what I mean? Like it's so much better.
And just
and
like
you can,
even
what are you saying, Al?
even if you don't win, the experience, I think, of getting to, for a lot of people, work with a band maybe for the first time. Great learning experience. It's a great learning experience for me personally and for the guys in the band, just because it's like we're learning a ton of songs on the fly and arranging things and learning how to work with a bunch of new artists and getting in new situations. So it's really, really stimulating and exciting for us. But I think for the artists that are involved, even ones who didn't win, because Abby, I don't think you didn't win your year, right?
No, I didn't place in the top 3 at all.
Didn't even place in the top 3?
I remember.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show, like, so we were able to build a relationship with Abby during that process, and we reached out after the fact. We connected after the fact, and we ended up making a couple of tracks together, and we've played together. And even though you didn't win that competition, I think it did a lot to sort of jumpstart some of your gigging. And some of your repertoire that ended up on Spotify, and that's been the case for a number of artists, whether or not they ended up working with us or not, or just sort of they were able to get helped out a bit by the music management company that works as a part of the Magna Showdown. So there's just a lot of different opportunities there for artists. I'd really recommend that people give it a shot, because it's not an all or nothing thing. The experience of going through it is huge, and then also there's a good amount of stuff that can happen for you even after the fact. So
you get to know other artists too. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Network
with other artists.
It seemed like you guys were all buddy after that.
And there's I felt with the Magna too. There's a real genuine vibe that's going around. I feel like in a lot of competitions, there's a lot you actually feel like very competitive, or there's like. You know what I mean? Like it's not the most friendliest of places, but there's like, I felt like everyone was just like cheering each other on, which was really cool. And yeah, it was phenomenal getting to work. Honestly, like the first time, I don't know if you know this, Al, but that was the first time playing with the band for me. And we were rehearsing.
Huge.
Yeah, it was huge. And when we rehearsed in this like theater, I don't know if it was in Aurora or something. I got in the car with my mom and I cried. I was just crying. I was like, Mom, all I want is to play on stage with these guys singing my own songs.
Yes.
Aww.
Yeah.
It was a crazy, because you're used to doing it alone, right? Like just by yourself, and just to hear like, and you guys are amazing too. Like that's another thing, is you're actually like this phenomenal band. So yeah, anyone do the Magna.
Yeah.
Do the Magna
I have a
competition, yeah.
bone to pick with shitty competitions. You know what I mean? And Magna is not one of them. Just because there are plenty that take advantage, but like Magna, you get so much out of it. If you win, if you don't win, like some of them, if you win, you don't really even get much from it. You know,
Yeah.
like, and even if you don't win, you get so much from Magna. You know, like, it's
Well,
cool.
I think the spirit of the Magna Hoedown, the entire event, has always been to give back to the community. And the music component of it, you're right, Abby, there's a lot of positive energy around it, and it's about developing each artist, each one of the 10 finalists, developing them the best we can and giving them the best chance to win, and making their voice, you know, as good as we can. Voice, I mean, like, not literally necessarily, but just their art, you know, what is their sound, finding that sound and presenting it the best way that we can. So yeah, after the fact, we did actually get to produce a couple tracks for Abby. I want to play one of them now, if you guys are into this. This is a song called Time. Abby brought it to us. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is one that you wrote sort of in a guitar lesson way back in the day, or at least you sort of started there. And you had brought to us a handful of tunes, and we sort of selected the ones that we felt we could do the most with. And Time was great. It was a challenging song, this in some ways, because there's a lot of time signature changes in it, which
Coincidentally,
when you're working with a young artist, and you would have been maybe 18 at the time, for us, we're not expecting somebody to come in with a song with like multiple time signature changes throughout the song. You know, like, we're expecting to sort of things to be kind of basic, and it's like, it was not like that at all with Abby. She's got very sophisticated songwriting techniques and compositions. So it was a real challenge and thrill for us to work on the song, and I think it turned out really cool. This is a song called Time by Abby J. Hall, and this one was on Spotify in 2018, so it's been out for a little while. Got a lot of hits on this one. I think this one had a few thousand on it. So anyways,
it's my only song that's ever landed a Spotify playlist so far.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
It's about time.
Yeah.
I'm the worst. I hate
And it was so
Ooh,
super fun work.
Almost 10,000 hits on this one, actually. Holy. Anyways, here it is from Abby J. Hall, Time, produced by The Agenda. Here we go.
I don't know where we'll go out on this open road. May take some time, but I like the sound of you and I sailing on paper boats, praying to stay afloat. Stakes will be high, but even higher if we never try. Heard faith can move mountains, don't care. I'd rather climb them with you. I don't mind if we run out of time, 'cause time has been on my side. With you getting lost isn't quite so bad. Let's take a long time. Getting back, time has always been on my side. Time has always been on my side. Whenever we're
Yeah. So
You know what that reminds me of? It's got almost like an Owl City vibe.
Oh, yeah.
You ever listen to Owl City?
I haven't listened to them before.
They're really great. I love them.
Cool, I'll have to look them up.
Yeah.
I remember that band, yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Song Fireflies.
Yep, that was
Yeah.
a big hit. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, that song, again, a lot of that was done in my apartment at the time, I think. We
Yeah.
maybe did the drums and bass and a couple of guitars I think we did it at Judson Studios down in Etobicoke, right?
Yeah.
Which is a great spot to record. And actually, Nick Boyd was the engineer we were talking about earlier.
The Colorado
from
guy,
Colorado,
right?
Yeah. So, anyways,
Branching out. He's
it's
really
all-
good at
it's all
engineering
connected.
it. Never mind.
He's great. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not branching out. He's already branched.
Yeah. Well, he's well entrenched. Yeah. So, anyways, we did some of that, and but really didn't have to break the bank too hard on it because we were able to sort of utilize that studio efficiently, just record the instruments we needed to record, and then everything else was sort of done. At my apartment and mixed by Rich Da Silva. And the track turned out great, catchy, great melodies, great lyrics, great message.
It was so
Good
much fun
changes,
to
too.
do that with you guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a blast.
So, let's touch a little bit on school. You said you were homeschooled, and then you've sort of you're in a bit of a weird place, maybe not weird. Weird's the wrong word, but you're in a we're all in a strange situation right now with everything being on pause, where you haven't chosen or started a post-secondary thing yet, and now you're kind of in a spot where maybe you're thinking about not going to post-secondary. Can you talk a little bit what homeschool is like and where you sort of see yourself going with schooling and with career and all that kind of stuff? Do you think about that stuff a lot, and how's that gone for you?
Yeah, I feel like, well, homeschooling growing up, it was a lot of fun. Like, I really enjoyed it because they had a good little, like, friend group. My brother and sister, they went to school eventually, like high school, but I was the only one who, like, has been 100% homeschooled
Staying
the whole way.
strong.
And then, yeah, I kind of, after high school, it is a weird time because, like, in high school, it was like, you know, you have your subjects and your friends and, like, doing your thing, and music is just, like, this fun part of it. And then you have to decide, like, do I want this to be, like, my career eventually, or is it just going to be, like, a side fun thing?
Yes.
So I debated for a while about, like, which school to go to. And because I was so unsure, I just was like, you know what, I'm just going to take a gap year and think about it more. And actually, I had gotten into some programs at, like, Seneca and Mohawk the past year, but the day of the audition was the same day of Canadian Music Week. And so I had decided which one did I want to not miss out on.
Mm-hmm.
I think you made the right
So
decision.
it's ironic that I met, because Canadian Music Week is a bunch of, like, it's the full week, but the one day was the day that I met this producer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just felt like a lot of music programs, especially in Canada, they weren't really offering what I kind of wanted to learn. And so I have been just trying to pick up what I can without school right now.
Yeah.
I
think that's smart. But
But
I'm
yeah,
super
it is.
biased.
It's definitely is, like, you're always, like, reevaluating, and it's so different for everyone. You know, like, you guys
Yeah.
will know for, like, a musician, like, where
Like a higher
or what
guy.
success looks like,
Yeah.
even to each person. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts on the whole post-secondary education thing, Al?
What are my thoughts?
Yeah, like what do you think? Like, what's
Well, I mean, we've talked about this before,
Yeah.
and I mean, on previous episodes and all that. Like, I went and I graduated, so for me
Yeah.
to be like, you shouldn't go is a little bit hypocritical, maybe.
Yes.
But I do caution. I would caution anybody. I think it's a huge decision to be forced to make. I say that in air quotes because I think that's how people feel coming out of high school. I remember sitting down with my guidance counselor in high school and him sitting me down and being, you know what? The most important decision you're ever going to make in your whole
yeah.
life, aside from buying a house, is where you're going to go for post-secondary education. And as a kid, you're just like, holy crap, like, I better not mess this up, right? And then, of course, they also say, and the worst decision you could make is to not go at all. And you're like, okay, so I have to pick something,
That's so
right?
evil.
And then, and I mean, there's definitely a little stink of, you know, businesses trying to make money here and schools being like,
Yeah.
you know, you got to come here, otherwise you're going to be a failure and give us all your money. And then people go and they don't even like what they're studying. They drop out. They waste a bunch of money. They waste a bunch of money on living in residence, and you're 18 and you're on your own and you're just like, well, I don't even know what the concept of saving money, and you just blow a bunch of cash, and then before you know it, you're 40, 50, 60 grand in debt, and like you got a degree that a bunch of other people have, and it's like you got no work experience. So
Also, too, you got a degree that pretty much makes you eligible to be a high school teacher or go try to get a master's.
yeah, or you can pay even more money, go back to school again. I mean, I think that there's a bunch of factors. One factor is that when our parents went to school, if you had a university degree, that meant a lot. There wasn't the same level of what you would call degree inflation, where everybody goes to post-secondary. There's so many different institutions. If you don't get accepted to the, you know, U of T, University of Toronto, University of, you know, Western, or some of these higher end schools, maybe there's other schools you can get into. So almost everybody's got a degree of some kind, and it creates a situation where, I mean, nobody's ever asked to see mine. I don't even know where it is. So, so you know, that's what I see to be the negative side of it. But you know, I will say that it's the people that we met, you and I, Mike, being at Humber, and the relationships we built there, where everybody I work with went to Humber. So does it matter that I have a degree from there? Not really. Does it matter that I learned the jazz bebop scales and minor scales?
You know how to scat now, baby.
Like scat over chord changes? Not really. But, you know, a lot of that culmination of so many little lessons learned, however unimportant they may have seemed at the time, develops your ear, develops your mind for music and all that stuff. So I think I did get a lot of skills, and you learn from osmosis, from being around so many players that are so much better than you are, and build those relationships. So, you know, would I change having gone? Absolutely not. I'm glad I went. I'm glad I finished the program, and I'm glad that I met so many great people there. But I would caution people to really make sure that you're not going just for the sake of going.
That's
you think there's something to get out of it. Save as much money as you can. Don't live on residence if you don't have to. Work a side job to keep your debt under control so that you're not under a lot of pressure when you're finished. And you get out of it what you put into it. So even if you're a musician and you're like, you know, music is my life, hashtag music is my life, or whatever, and you want to like take, you know, just because you love something doesn't mean it has to be your career. And just because you love music doesn't mean you have to go to school for it. And if you go to school for music just for the sake of going to school for something and you don't enjoy the program or put a lot into it, then you're not going to get much back from it. So
that's a great way to put it.
Like,
like,
my spiel.
I mean, like obviously, if I could say anything, like, this is my biased opinion, but I would say if you're going to be an artist, don't go to school. But, like, once again, that's just my opinion. But, like, yes, that was a really, like, well-balanced way to put it. It's like you went over the perks and the negatives of it. Because, yes, it is a lot of money to go into debt, but, yes, you do become a better musician. Also, too, it does kind of get you, it forces you in a direction. You know what I mean? Like, because if you, say, for instance, don't go to school, you can always just change. You can just be like, oh, I'm just going to go to school for architecture, which is fine. If you go to school for music, you're like, oh, fuck, I have a degree in this. I got to do something with this. You know what I mean? So there is that. But my opinion, and I will like die saying this, I think, don't go to school for music unless you're gonna be, unless you're gonna be a like a player. But once again, like that is just
or a
my
teacher
opinion.
or a prof, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
and that's
that is-
that's fair. I mean, I think there's a lot of courses out there that I think Humber is not one of these, but I think there are a lot of post-secondary courses out there that are kind of looking to capitalize on people's passion for music and not really offer them usable skills or connections or
Humber
a
is
real
one of the
value.
better ones.
I think
for
Humber
sure.
is one of the better programs. Yeah,
I like-
and not at all like what I just said. To be clear,
Yeah, I don't want. I feel like I almost like shit on Humber too much. Like really, Humber is the best in Canada for me for
Yeah.
that sort of thing because you play a bunch. You like don't have to do like a lot of like general education stuff. You get a degree out of it. But yeah, I don't know. Like Berkeley's really good too, and you were talking about Blackbird, and Blackbird's really cool. I know people who
Yeah.
had success with that. But I don't know. I mean, who the fuck am I? Living in Markham.
so
Yeah. Oh.
well, I just want to ask you, Abby. So, if you had to sort of nail down exactly what you want your career to be going forward, are you a songwriter first, or are you a performing artist first, or are you a video editor who also plays music on the side? What how would you sort of characterize or define sort of the direction that you want your career to take?
I would say I'm a songwriter first,
Mm.
for sure. I love the artist side too, but I think songwriting will always be the first passion
Mhm.
and love.
That makes
yeah.
sense. I mean, you write so many songs. You should definitely like you should get co-writing with people over Zoom. There's tons of country artists that need your skills.
Yeah, man.
Aw.
I
Yeah,
need
and
to
I feel
stop hearing songs about whiskey and trucks. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. I feel like I'm not like I've kind of like that's the thing too, like the whole when I was younger, like finding a genre. I have
Yeah.
felt like I had a hard time with that when I was younger
Yeah.
because like I don't know, like I like to write like Taylor Swift
Yeah.
was like really country and like I liked a lot of country artists, but also like a lot of pop artists too. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of been interesting how that's kind of developed over the years. And I feel like I'm not country,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
at the same time I still love like
Well, I
country
just-
music and
Say that because I
fun.
know a lot of country artists. That's pretty much it.
yeah, no, that's fun. I feel like that would be really
Yeah.
cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's cool now because you can be more ambiguous about what style of music you're doing.
Yeah, I know, I love
know?
it. Yeah.
People like shit on music as it is now, and I think that that's like so dumb. I think it's the most exciting time for music. You actually said that on an earlier podcast, Alan. I was like, I like this. I'm gonna pretend that I
It's a
say
very
this
exciting time for
in a
music.
later
Yeah.
podcast.
So much opportunity to get yourself out there at such
Yeah.
little cost. And you can do so many things yourself nowadays. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of opportunities out there for people, and I think it's great. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think it's super great.
It's cool. It's cool how like I feel like also right now you're seeing so many country and pop artists like doing things together,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which is so cool because yeah, like everybody's playlist will have a mixture of different types of songs. So I think it's really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
the merge.
So
Good
what's
old melting pot.
what's next for you? Are you releasing another single and down the road? Or are you just gonna kind of wait this quarantine thing out? What do you want to do next, Abby?
What's next? I'm kind of I have 3 more songs that I'm kind of like working out their releases right now and kind of the process there. And also I think just really planning what I want this year to look like or different goals that I want to tackle this year. And then I think I'll probably just keep reevaluating.
Yeah. Right
Yeah.
on. Any hint
But
on
right now, like, oh,
I was gonna say, any hint on what the next song might be? Title? Anything we can sort of?
the next song, well, it's going to be in July, I think.
Okay, great, awesome.
And it's called All I Wanted.
All I Wanted. All right. Hey, there we go. Get some juicy info here.
Juicy goss.
Exclusive music podcast info here. So July, the new single "All I Wanted." Look out for that, folks. That's only a
Cool.
short couple of months away. So
Yeah.
I'm
you're
definitely
releasing
psyched
music,
to
like,
to hear that.
Fucking
Can
wildfire.
people? Is there a CD copy of the new songs you've got, or any songs you've got that people can purchase if they want to support you? What's the best way for people to support you?
Right now, it's just streaming on Spotify, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or
So
YouTube.
just stream away.
Just stream away.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's a pretty good place to wrap us up. Do you have
Yeah,
anything
oh,
else? Any else you want to address, Mike or Abby, on the show?
I'm good.
Yeah, I don't think so. Just like, yeah, thanks for having me, guys. You're
Yeah, it was
both
great
like
to chat with you.
phenomenal musicians, so yeah, it's cool to do this.
Thanks.
It's just
yeah.
cool to get inside your like artists' heads, you know, like because it's like
Yeah.
a different
Mhm.
different type of person. Like me and Al, like Al is an artist as well, but he's been
Mhm.
tainted by the side musician thing, you know. So to just get into the head of just an artist who's like, you know, seeing where you're coming from, like you're a songwriter too, but I mean, artists, an all-encompassing thing. It's neat. It's really
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Abby. This has been super
Yes.
fun. So the new single, again, I'll say it one more time, Little Things on Spotify right now. abbyjhall.com. Is that right? For people to find
Yes.
your website?
Yeah.
At Abby J. Hall on Instagram as well.
Yeah, there's a little dot after the J because somebody has Abby J Hall and they're like that blank user,
Oh,
and it's like,
Oh,
okay,
really?
I'm like, I tried to follow them, but they're not
Not
letting me
Yeah.
out.
So abbyj.hall. You shouldn't have too tough a time finding it. On Instagram,
should
you're also on
tag that-
Facebook and YouTube. Go ahead,
You
Mike.
should tag that girl, the Abby J Hall, in a bunch of stuff. Whenever you post, you should just tag her.
Yeah,
in
really.
everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Where can people find you, Mike?
At Bruno the Meek on Instagram, and that's all I got going.
You got a Twitter.
I got Twitter, but I literally used one fucking thing. When the second Star Wars movie came out, everybody was really upset about it. So I just put up a tweet saying that Jar Jar Binks was in the movie and how excited I was about it, just to see if I could get people more upset about it.
Nice.
And it didn't take.
No?
Didn't take. I thought it
No,
would have been
that's
great though.
Well, if you want to follow Mike for the odd Star Wars troll tweet, he's also on Twitter. I think it's at Hebs_Michael.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I
Yeah.
should get on Twitter.
Just
I feel like I'm gonna
change it
get
to
myself into
at least
trouble.
change it so it's consistent. You know, you can find me on Instagram at Alro Music, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all under the same handle. You can follow the podcast at Music Guy Podcast. Same deal on Facebook, and you can check out our YouTube channel. There's some great videos, including the live, uncut editions of our podcast when we do stream them live, such as this one. And there's some good video series on there too. 10-step mix if you want to learn how to mix a song on Pro Tools or any DAW of your choosing. And 10 easy steps or some other stuff about setting up online lessons. Because I know a lot of people are trying to teach over Skype and Zoom right now, so just ways to get that set up. And you can also check out my brand new single, Life to Live, on Spotify or anywhere else that you get your music. So we'd be psyched if you
really
would check out all this stuff. Abby's stuff, Mike's stuff, the podcast stuff, my stuff. It's all good stuff. Thank you so much for joining us this week on the Music Guy Podcast. Thank you, Abby, for joining us as well as our special guest. And we will see you guys